This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth, and what you're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen, is the funeral service posting for Irina Zarutska. She's a Ukrainian refugee who was just brutally murdered in a completely unprovoked attack that came at the hands of this man here, Decarlos Brown. This guy is a career criminal. He has been in and out of jail multiple times ever since he was a minor. And the footage is absolutely horrific. The man is seen here looking, I don't know, a little upset and emotional, sitting on this train car. When all of a sudden the young lady enters the car right here. She comes on, obviously minding her own business. She's got her, her earbuds in. She's just sitting there on her phone. She sits directly in front of the suspect. And he, about 4 minutes later, after sitting there staring at her, all of a sudden he reaches into his pocket, as you see here, and he pulls out a pocket knife. He opens it up, and within just a few seconds of doing that, ladies and gentlemen, the guy gets up and he violently stabs her in the neck multiple times. She ended up dying right there on the spot. He then can be seen running around bleeding profusely from his own hand, which got injured in the middle of this attack. And then he takes his hoodie off in order to kind of bandage up his hands. Here you see other passenger members noticing the blood, going back to help this young woman who unfortunately died at the hands of this absolute madman. Now, this guy has multiple arrests dating back to 2011. He was charged with first-degree murder after killing her, but his records include larceny, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and communicating threats, according to court records obtained by the Post. In fact, the guy's been in and out of jail like 14 times. As you see here, I don't know about this one picture, but all of these other ones are certainly him. Again, a career criminal. In and out for multiple things. Brown served 5 years in prison for a 2014 armed robbery, and he was released in September of 2020. In February of 2021, Brown was arrested for assaulting his own sister in Charlotte and leaving her with minor injuries, according to police records obtained by the Daily Mail. The same month, he was again arrested for injury to personal property and trespassing. A police report from that incident said Brown returned to the address after being told that he was not allowed back, and he kicked and damaged the front door of the listed victim's residence. And then in July of 2022, Brown was arrested for domestic disturbance. So again, over and over and over again, this guy has been in and out of jail. So I would have to agree with this guy here, Brandon Jones, who says the tragedy of Irina Zarutska's death in Charlotte is the result of decades of Democrat DAs and sheriffs putting their woke agendas above public safety. Violent criminals commit crimes with impunity while families live in fear. Well, I'll remind you guys of a particular case where this man was certainly not in fear. This is Daniel Penny. Guys, you may remember he subdued a man on a subway car who was also being irrational and insane and causing other passengers to be in fear. So he subdued the man, thankfully. Unfortunately, the man ended up dying as a result of this altercation, but it was Penny who ended up facing a potential 15 years in prison for manslaughter. Thank God all charges were dropped and he got off from that. But as this guy says, you mind your own business, you might get stabbed to death. Defend yourself, and you might face 15 years in prison for manslaughter. Why are conservatives so scared of American cities? Well, here's where things get wild, ladies and gentlemen. The mayor of Charlotte has released an official statement, and I want to read from you a part that I've highlighted here from her full statement. And I'll include links to all of this in the description below. She says, I want to be clear that I am not villainizing those who struggle with their mental health or those who are unhoused. So this guy they're saying had mental health issues and he was homeless. But she doesn't want to villainize him? I mean, are you kidding me? The man is an absolute monster. He totally is a villain, and we got to call him it for what it is. She says, mental health disease is just that. A disease like any other that needs to be treated with the same compassion, diligence, and commitment as cancer or heart disease. Our community must work to address the underlying issue of access to mental health care. So here's the problem I have with her suggesting we have compassion on this man because of his mental health issues. Well, here's a part that a lot of people may be missing in regards to this. In case you guys didn't know, in January, Brown was arrested and charged with the misuse of 911 after a police welfare check, the Charlotte Observer reported. During that incident, officers said that he bizarrely claimed a man-made material inside his body was controlling him as he ate and as he walked and talked, according to an affidavit cited by the outlet. A Daily Mail review of the police records found that he was charged with misusing 911 as recently as January, when he told cops he believed that someone had given him a man-made material that controlled his actions. So this man literally believed that something inside of him was controlling the way he acted. And here's my problem with that, guys. We need to call this out for what it is, as opposed to just brushing it off as mental health issue. I'm going to call it for what it is. It's demonic possession. And I know some of you are probably going to scoff at that right now, but demonic possession is absolutely real. And here's the problem when you don't call it for what it really is and you just refer to it as simply a mental health disorder. Let me remind you of the case of the Greyhound bus beheading. You guys remember that? The tale of Vince Lee, who left Canadians reeling in disgust after beheading his fellow bus passenger Tim McLean in 2008. Well, guess what happened to this guy? The man who chopped off another passenger's head, guys. Vince Lee, the man who beheaded a passenger on a Greyhound bus, was given an absolute discharge. Canada man who beheaded bus passenger granted freedom. Will Baker, formerly known as Vince Lee, killed 22-year-old Tim McLean after hearing what he thought was the voice of God in his head telling him what to do. He was deemed not criminally responsible, and he received mental health treatment. A review board of the Manitoba ordered his discharge without monitoring, saying he did not pose a significant threat. Like, this is literally the guy who chopped somebody's head off, guys. Vince Lee, the man who was found not criminally responsible for beheading a man on a Greyhound bus in 2008, has been granted absolute discharge. The Manitoba Criminal Code Review Board ordered the discharge on Friday, saying Lee, now known as Will Baker, does not pose a significant threat. Baker was found to have been suffering from untreated schizophrenia when he stabbed, beheaded, and partially cannibalized Tim McLean, a 22-year-old. Well, guess what, guys? Brown here has also been diagnosed with schizophrenia. And if we allow, for what the mayor of Charlotte would like to see, this being addressed as a mental health issue, there's a very good chance that this monster, this demon-possessed man, will just get off scot-free, maybe go into a facility to be treated for his mental health issues, when that could be his fate, when we call this a mental health issue instead of, bluntly calling it out for what it is, demonic possession, without the fear of being scoffed and laughed at by, people who just brush that sort of thing off. Guys, it's indeed very, very real, and that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention today, that if this case goes down the route of this man just suffering from schizophrenia, he was just, crazy, and we have to treat him with compassion and diligence and a commitment like we do with people who suffer from cancer or heart disease. We could see this case going down the same road that this one went, guys, where this guy was let off scot-free after he was literally hearing voices telling him to kill the passenger on that bus. So this is something we cannot allow to happen for the sake of Irina Zarutska. We must see justice, but thankfully, guys, justice ultimately will be served. Justice will come at the hands of God when this man faces judgment from God eventually when he does die. And so thank God for that. There is that justice will ultimately be served. So in the meantime, though, guys, this man needs to get what's coming to him. Absolute prison time. He must be locked away for life. We cannot see the same thing come as a result of mental illness, which is what happened to this guy, who I believe was also demonically possessed. So guys, I just wanted to bring all of that to your attention. Make sure you leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think demonic possession is real? And do you think this guy might end up getting off scot-free by claiming it was just a case of schizophrenia? Again, let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. And if you do appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, I want to remind you, I do have this Give, Send, Go campaign. I really do need your financial contributions to help save and protect Press for Truth. I want to make this the best it can be moving forward, guys. Thank you so much to the 46 people who have already contributed to this campaign. Let's hopefully get that up to, maybe 50 people today. Again, I can't continue to do this work without the support that comes from you, the viewers. If you don't want to use Give, Send, Go, you can go to pressfortruth.ca/donate. Here you can do a one-time donation with PayPal. You can contribute Bitcoin. You could sign up for a monthly reoccurring contribution here or here. You could send me an e-transfer to Dan@pressfortruth.ca, or you can send stuff to my P.O. box, guys. Once again, links for all of this are located in the description below. Thank you so much to anybody who takes 1 minute today to contribute to my efforts here at Press for Truth. So that's all for today, guys. I just wanted to bring all of that to your attention. Once again, please check the links in the description to where you can support my efforts to do so. And please click the thumbs up button. Make sure you share this video. And stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.